Hey, welcome to Alternative Brown. My name is Camilla Wahid, your host for today. And you know what we do here? This is where we feature artists that step outside the box. Maybe you play violin, maybe you tap dance, maybe you rap while you drum, maybe you're speaking a different language that the mainstream doesn't want to hear from. But today, we are giving you that platform to learn more about people that aren't afraid to put their big toe, maybe their whole foot outside of that box that they sometimes try to put us in. And today, I'm reaching over to the other side on the West Coast, and I have a few gentlemen here that I'm proud to say we share some things in common. We are both, putting some things out on Ramrock Records. Shout out to London, a great group of people to be with. So I call you my brothers. We know we doing some things, making it happen. And welcome to Alternative Brown, Substance Abuse, Eso and Subz. Say hi to the people, gentlemen.
Hello, hello. Eso Tre from Substance Abuse.
Yay, yay.
Up.
That's substance abuse.
All right, all right. So I want to jump right in, man. When I'm gonna keep it real, when I first started looking you guys up, and I was googling substance abuse. I'm trying to, this is before you sent the links, and it was hard. It was like all this other stuff was popping up, and like yeah, I'm like, well, who are these guys? So let's start with the name. Why substance abuse? Where did it come from?
Well, initially we didn't have a name for our group, so I was saying like Subs and I, we had linked up with this producer named No, and we had recorded 4 songs with them, and we were gonna call this EP Substance Abuse, and all of us knew that it wasn't based on obviously just knowing who we were as people, but also the content of the songs and so forth, that we were not valorizing substance abuse. It was about, you know, substance. Our music presents substance. Abuse is a word that correlates with excess. So we're saying that we're excessively concerned with putting substance in the music.
Ah, I
Then
like
we
it.
had the bright idea of saying, hey, why are we calling the EP this? Let's call the group Substance Abuse.
Hmm.
And from the inception of our career as artists, we've all kinds of radio shows, and everyone we've interacted with is always kind of like, yeah, tell us the meaning behind the name, and a
Hmm.
lot of people are like, yeah, I was expecting to hear something else, when I before I heard your guys' music, and it's not at all what I expected. You know what I mean? But I think after a while, I think people kind of got the message that, we're
Yeah.
not touting that. You know what I mean? We've seen a lot of things like that in our
Mhm.
life, but we would never, try to glorify something like that.
Okay. Okay. So you put a nice little twist on words. So you dropped your first piece of music in '06. Am I correct, or before then?
Technically, it was 1998. We put
Okay.
out a tape called Brand New Crime. The other side of the EP was a group called Mike Edu. Our friend Eric Stoyer, who was in that group, he was the guest MC on the song what we recently put out called Rabbit Hole. Um, and we put the EP out. I got out there a little bit, and then I started actually working at this label. It's a pretty known hip hop label at the time called New Groove, and this guy who worked there heard the tape and he liked the tape, and that's how we ended up getting a deal with them. He ended up getting fired, you know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, that, again, that's the kind of stuff that happens in the industry. You kind of get bounced around between different people or whatever. But this guy taking interest in our music led to someone else taking interest in our music. And the label put out this single we did, and it was in 2001. It was called What the F You Rhyming For?
Okay.
And no cameos, just 3 songs. Subs had a
Mm.
solo cut called Withdrawals that to this day is just one of my favorite songs that we've ever done. So yeah, you know what I mean.
Okay. '98. That y'all been around for a minute. That's that's grit right there. It's definitely grit, man. And I've been listening to some songs, and I definitely like the message. But I'm noticing like you have like some of my favorite artists, like I love MF Doom. I used to love the alcohol. I still love the Alkaholiks. Well, Tash is, one of the guys in the group that I really liked back then. Of course, Blastmaster, one of my top five. He's on my top five. I don't care what nobody say. Like how did you being able to navigate the waters to make those connections, and what was it like working with a legend like KRS-One?
That was an interesting story because our homeboy. So on the chorus, you'll hear KRS-One shouting out somebody named Rec Rap.
Yeah, I was trying
And
to figure out who that was. Okay.
so Rec Rap is our homeboy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a rapper and he's a businessman, and he had been talking to some KRS's people for a while, and it was kind of like, yo, I can get a song with you and KRS-One. Obviously, we're gonna jump on that. We're like, yeah, dope, cool. But I don't, at least speaking for myself, like I don't know how much belief I really had that it was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I just was like, dope, cool, you know what I mean? And then out of nowhere, or it's seemingly out of nowhere, we just get this call. I was talking to Rec Rap, and he's like, "Yeah, KRS is in town. He's ready to do it." And I'm like, "Whoa," like I was not. It's kind of just like blindsided almost
Uh-huh.
by that. And we had this Isaac Hayes loop, that we had just been sitting on for a while, and I had always thought it would be dope to get KRS-One on it. We hadn't even really made the beat yet. We just had the loop. So KRS-One rapped over the loop. The beat wasn't even made yet, and we made the beat around that. But that was pretty surreal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can imagine. Another favorite of mine, MF Doom. How was that, Subs? MF Doom, like he's very mysterious. Like his metaphors and similes are like the dopest. They're like simple, but then you're like, wait, did he just say that? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's definitely the type you gotta listen to his songs a few times and you catch something new each time. And that, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something we do too. Is
Mm-hmm.
substance abuse. It's like we make that hip hop where like the second, third time, each time you listen to it, you might catch something new, that you didn't
Yeah.
catch the time before you listened to it. That was a great experience. Where did we do that at?
We were at the studio in Oakland,
Yeah,
and
we were in his basement, and
yeah,
yeah, it was cool. It was a vibe. It felt like I know Essa and I were probably in awe and like because like we grew up on KMD, but he was so chill. It was like a reunion almost. Like
Nice.
he did some graffiti. I still have it. I have it framed. He did some like graffiti, some throw ups, for me, and it was a chill session.
It's nice when you get that right energy at the right time and beautiful things happen. Um, so I know it's hard sometimes when you decide to step outside the box. Did you find it hard finding a place in the industry for the type of music you guys are putting out?
I mean, I think at the time that we were first coming up, there was this just wave of like, I hate to use the term indie hip hop, but it was just like all these people were just like, we don't need the labels. And
Mm-hmm.
everyone just started from scratch. I mean, the Jurassic 5, Dilated Peoples, they were just putting records out on indie labels. Jurassic 5 was actually on New Groove, which, label we were on, even though it was kind of a, New Groove was more of like a parent label, but it was still the general umbrella. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And people would just put out records on these indie labels, and there was a huge following that this hip hop has. And so I don't think that the fact that when we first started, I don't think like we were daunted in any way by like, okay, Clive Davis isn't gonna sign us, so we better just throw in the towel. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna just do this and put it out, and we found the means of doing it, just different indie labels. My homie Eric Stoyer, who we were talking about earlier, he started a label called Weapon Shaped. We put out a record with him that had Peace from Freestyle Fellowship and that song with people. That's one that I was talking about earlier. Cutmaster Kurt on his label Threshold, and the well known Fat Beats, put out that record. So there's ways to do it. Like Subz was
Mm-hmm.
saying earlier, it's just about building relationships, you know, and if in the ideal scenario, I think like, you know, there was even a time where the kind of hip hop that we were doing was getting major label deals. You know, like I said, Jurassic 5, Dilated eventually got major label deals. I think the Beastie Boys were trying to do something through Capitol where they were signing artists that were kind of doing, you know, the kind of hip hop we're doing. So I don't think we've ever been daunted by, you know, like, oh, you know, who's gonna get behind it. We just do it and we make sure it gets out one way or another.
Okay, it sounds like you were basically part of a movement because you're saying that at that time that, you know, everybody started to go independent, and, you know, that gives you more room to really put out what you want to put out. And you named a few groups and artists that, yeah, they were just going for it. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Being a part of a movement can open doors, and I think that we need more movements like that. Definitely need more movements like that. But what kept you motivated as artists? Because, you know, it's definitely an up and down. It's a roller coaster. Sometimes they're good, sometimes not. Like now, you know, the pandemic is affecting artists, and if for those that depend solely on, you know, doing shows, like what keeps you motivated in those times when the roller coaster is just, you know, shooting down fast?
I mean, for me, like, it's just basically, I love getting the reaction from people that like, wow, this hip hop is still around, you know, and like people are excited about it, you know, because there is, you know, like we were kind of talking about who follows the kind of stuff that we do. And I think there is a really large segment of people out there that really do want and yearn for, you know, that real hip hop, that stuff that, you know, has dope lyricism, dope beats. So I always get joy, you know, to this day from just being able to put that back out there and say, you know, check this out. You know, when we did that song Bridges with AC Alone that Ramrock put out, you know, Joe was telling me that she played it for one of the members of the Jungle Brothers. You know what I mean? And he was blown away by it, you know, and he was just like, who are these cats? You know what I mean? And there's just an excitement people get that I like to believe people get from hearing our music of just kind of like, wow, you know, like I gave up, but on hip hop until I heard this song that you guys did, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's kind of something that keeps me going.
Okay. So the response of the people. What keeps you going, keeping you motivated in this game, so?
You know, it's always been about like the art for us first and foremost. So that's what keeps me motivated. Just keep creating, keep doing things that I like, and hold myself accountable to always put out the best work I could put out. And I mean, it's definitely the money doesn't keep me motivated because we're not good, you know, we're not rich off music. So it's really about the love and the process, and just wanting to create, you know, beautiful art.
Yeah. You gotta love it to be in it. But I want to ask you, you know, maybe you feel like this is your purpose, and with the purpose, there's the why question. Like, you know, what is your why? And can you give me 3 words or less? What is your why? And I'll give you some time to sit on that. Can we drop a song right there?
Building bridges that spread out like prisms, reflective and see-through, while others in prison sharing walls that's not equal. Run by devils who see shares and not people. Want to keep you in the system, watching trauma like drama with the popcorn and Twizzlers. But I'm chill, rather trade it for a beer and a vape pen. I hope you hear what I'm saying, cause I ain't playing. No matter how hard the pill or sour the drug is, there's no excuse for being counterproductive. Caught in the vacuum and you power the suction, trying to clean up the mess, put you out of a dustbin. To grow we need light, but don't lead off the loving, cause we gotta get over before we go under. You wanna cross the bridge, but you ain't got the toll. You wrote
stop in the lanes and get the falling down. Don't forget that part of the game, but many just like to cross it and they set it aflame. Now ain't it a shame? It's a common gap in rap. Or the generations that is handicapped, perhaps the ones who paved the road and go still have to pay the whole toll one way or another. Is facts. We lack pulling it more together even though we need to. The great divide, something that we can see too. But I promise you I will never leave you abandoned. I stand in unity with the people. Bridge the sides old and the young and the people that sleep up under it from lightning and thunder. And the stomachs are still rumbling, they all wanna fight. Just scrapping for crumbs cause they cannot get a bite. It's sad. On the other hand, I ain't even mad. Get it? How you living like I live in the lab. They show me love, I take it like it's all you can grab. But then I give it right back cause it's all that I have.
You wanna cross the bridge, but you ain't got the toll. You wrote some bars to spit, but you ain't got the soul. You like to talk a grip, but you ain't on a roll. You like the cars and chicks, but you ain't got the dough. You wanna flaunt some chips, but you don't have the green. Wanna block the bridges that help people to convene. You want the Glocks and clips, but the thug ain't in your jeans. You wanna bark that shit, but building bridges is our thing. From Generation X to millennials, we tend to build the bridges that some never will. Divisions made us seldom real. The baby boomers groom us to be kids that use our mental skills. Don't give in to these imbeciles. We listen to the seven still. Be wary of the man who's got a bridge he wants to sell you, or a wall he wants to build. That's a recipe for failure. To evade the traps and lay it seems we must be swift like Taylor, whether prison or a jailer. Where all people keep the trailer to the movie known as Life, where they leave out all the sadness. Building bridges is our tactic. No stagecraft for theatrics. Some fascists like to burn them, but that's saying down with that shit. Cross the bridge when we come to it. Well, it's here. You better act because it close it down. Like Chris Christie, kinda risky to be on the bridge, but it's the only way to dodge a blitzkrieg. Don't be swayed by fraud or misdeeds. Where they charging bridge fees, where they flossing bitches, cause there ain't no cost for entry. You wanna cross the bridge, but you ain't got the toll. You wrote some bars to spit, but you ain't got the soul. You like to talk a grip, but you ain't on a roll. You like the cars and chicks, but you ain't got the dough. You wanna flaunt some chips, but you don't have the green. Wanna block the bridges that help people to convene. You want the Glocks and clips, but the thug ain't in your jeans. You wanna bark that shit, but building bridges is our thing.
And so, Trez, I heard that Jersey shout out in there, Chris Christie. That's what's up. I must say, man, you guys, your production is tight. Like, I like it. Is groovy. You can nod. It gives you that vibe. You know, music to me is about a vibe. So y'all definitely got that production and the way you flowing on that track. I like that. I like Bridges. I like that. But back to our why question. What's your why?
Yeah, because I live to learn.
Okay.
My 3 words is keep it fun.
Keep it fun.
That was the most honest thing I could think of, and it's the truth, you know?
Okay. Yeah, when it's still fun for you, man, doing music and being creative, you know you're doing the right thing. You know, it becomes stressful and, you know, then it's probably time to start looking elsewhere, you know. But give me a little more narrative on Bridges. Like, how did that concept come about? I like the video. What was on your minds when you put that out there?
It's the times we're living in where all these divisions are created or are trying to be created, and you know, divisiveness, and you know what we get fed the media, and you know, even I think going back to like Trump trying to build a wall, you know, to separate us from Mexico, and just like that's not what the world needs. The world doesn't need walls; it needs bridges where people can connect and learn from each other and come together, you know, to get over those barriers that separate us. So
yeah, bridges, filling the gaps. So speaking of, our political scene, it's a lot going on. If you had to name one album, past or present, that could be the soundtrack for 2020, any artist, any genre, what would it be? I keep throwing out these thinkers, right? We need another.
one that came to mind for me, the organized confusion, stress the extinction agenda.
Okay. Organized
That's
confusion.
pretty much where we're at.
Okay.
Stress and trying to stay alive. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine's would be that Extinction Level 2 Buster just dropped. That kind of blew me away. If you haven't heard it, man, dig into that.
Notice how both of our choices had the word extinction in it.
Yeah, right. Oh. Yeah, it's scary, man.
I don't know. I'd probably go back to Eric B. and Rakim's "Don't Sweat the Technique."
Okay.
That album.
Why so?
I think a lot of the songs in there, I don't know, it seems prophetic almost. Like Teach the Children,
Mm-hmm.
Casualties of War. I don't know. I listened to that album a couple months ago, and like, I don't know, a lot of what he was saying like fits for what we're going through right now.
It's crazy, right? It's still like significant still today. And that album probably at least 20 years old. So like things, it just seems to keep, going around and around. What does the future hold for substance abuse?
I think we're gonna be. I know we're still gonna be making music for a long time, and I think the reason is that we enjoy what we do, and we started off as cats that just really loved hip hop, and we still love hip hop, and we still make time to do it, and we're gonna keep going. And I think the beauty of it too is like we're still getting new fans, we're still getting people that we're meeting that are like, I might have heard of you guys before, but I really like your music, or I didn't hear about you before, but I really like your music. And it just, again, our mantra has just been consistency. You know what I mean? And
Right.
that's why we're still around, and we will continue to be around.
Was anything on the stove right now?
Yeah, we're working on some stuff. I also got a little side project that I'm doing with a longtime collaborator, Neb Supreme. So he was on both Overproof and background music.
Mm-hmm.
And we were putting out a single called Take It to the Bank that has Prince Poe from Organized Confusion on it. So, that's that. And then, Subz and I are continuing to work on stuff and build. So, like I said, expect more dope stuff from us in 2021.
Cool. Bridges, did Ramrock do a remix on that?
Yes.
Okay, was it Darren Morris? Or Ashley?
I think it was Ashley.
Okay.
It was dope though.
Yeah, them guys, they know what they doing, man.
Yeah. And we're not easily impressed either, you know what I'm saying? Like the thing is that because Ramrock put out the record, they wanted to do a remix, so we're like, cool, to do a remix, but we didn't know if we would like it or not. We're just like, whatever happens. Mm-hmm. But when we actually heard it, we're like, whoa, this is really so that was great,
Yeah. Ashley is dope. Darren, same thing, man. When I heard, some stuff they did, I had to pull my car over. I wasn't ready for that. I'm like, whoa, hey. Yeah, definitely a professional. Got some skin in the game, know what they doing. Have you guys been checking out Versus? So,
yeah.
Yeah? Okay. What's been your favorite one so far?
Probably the one with RZA and why have I drawn a blank? RZA and Premier.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Have you seen it yet? Eso?
I admittedly have not been keeping up on this stuff. I'm not gonna front. Like I haven't been watching them really, but I do like the idea. And I also think that it really speaks to what I was talking about earlier, which was, again, RZA, Premier. I heard there's going to be another one with Too Short and E40
tonight.
Yeah, so the point is, if this kind of hip hop is not cachet, then why are people so hooked on these verses? Because this hip hop is still loved. You know what I mean? It's widely loved. So people wouldn't be up on this stuff as much as they are if these guys weren't, legends that put out great music, that put out the kind of hip hop that we adored back in the day and that we still adore. So the verses phenomenon is illustrating that this hip hop still has a place in the universe.
Who would be your verses? What matchup would you like to see? I want to see Queen Latifah MC Light. I'm just going. That would be dope,
great.
right?
That would be great. Wow, that's a tough one.
I was looking forward to that Tribe Called Quest and Outkast, but it didn't happen. Maybe they'll circle back around to it, but that would have been bananas, man.
I'd like to see Kool G Rap and Nas. That would be interesting to me.
Okay.
Has Nas done one of those yet, or?
He hasn't. I don't know if they, I think Kool G Rap was a little, before him. I think they've been trying to see.
Maybe Kool G Rap and like Big Daddy Kane or something.
Yeah, but that'd be nice. But Big Daddy, he been putting the work in. And Kool G's dope too. But he, when you think of catalog, he has more catalog. Nas and JC, people have been talking about that, but that probably will never happen.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Nah.
I could see that maybe happening, and that would be cool. You know what I mean? I'd love to see Nas with somebody else, but the reason I said Kool G Rap is, Nas was heavily influenced by G Rap. So that would be an interesting kind of seeing them kind of go back and forth,
Who you guys been influenced by? Like, who was that when you was in the 5th grade and you said, yo, Subz, you hear that new John? Yo, I want to do that. Like, who was that for y'all?
I mean, at that time, I think for me, it was all about Public Enemy. But if I was to say, like, what group influenced the style of substance abuse, the two groups that come to mind for me are Organized Confusion and De La Soul.
Okay. De La.
So those I think that we've taken a lot from.
Okay, I hear that. And for you?
Maybe like Tribe Called Quest, Public Enemy for sure, BDP.
Okay. What's your social media, man? Like, I want you to make sure you putting that out there so people can jump in there and check your stuff out, man. You got a lot of catalog, a lot of dope, gems dropping. Yeah,
our social media is I think the ones that we're most active on are Twitter and Instagram. And the Instagram is Substance Abuse Hip Hop. The Twitter handle is Subz, SUBZ, and AND SO Tre, ESOTRE. We also got Facebook, Substance Abuse Hip Hop. YouTube is Substance Abuse Music, So I think, and now that you bring it up, I think, we were talking about doing a song actually about social media too. You know what I mean? It's funny, I mean, we have to use it. There's no escaping it as an artist. You just can't not have it. You know what I mean? But there's just, and there's a lot of good that comes out of social media, the networking and so forth. But there's a lot of just hilarious and not so cool stuff about it too. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we have been talking about doing a song about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would love to hear it, man. I have my opinions on social media.
I think that one of the main there's a couple things about social media that I think kind of twisted up our minds a little bit, and especially as an artist. You know what I mean? one of the things that I think, can be very disconcerting to a artist who's coming up is, how come my song has 500 views and this cat who's whack has 5 million views? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Why do I not have as many subscribers as this dude? Why do I not have as many followers as this cat? You know what I mean? So that it's kind of like you start to judge yourself based on the social media reaction you get. But it's like a lot of the people that have gotten attention on social media, especially musicians, they've not really gotten it because of the content of their music. They've gotten it because of some sort of, kind of shock value thing that they have, or something that kind of gets people's attention. But it's not necessarily like there's artists who I know their name because of social media antics or whatever. And I'm like, I've never heard this cat's music. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that's one of the things with social media that's problematic. And obviously, what is commonly addressed is just the profiling, you know what I mean? Of like the people trying to just pump themselves up to be something that they're not. It sounds kind of trite to say that, but it's still like, I think it influences people's outlook on life. When you get on social media, you see things, people presenting something that's not really consistent with reality,
Yeah, you're definitely on something with the shock value, because somebody will send you something like and you click on, you're like, wow, is this for real? And you send it to like your buddy, and they send it to somebody. Next thing you know, is a million hits. But it's simply based upon the shock value of like you're really putting this out into the universe. So we got to keep people like you dropping those things, making sure you're getting that music out and sticking to your artistry. I appreciate that. I shout out that to you for staying in the game. No matter what walls or things look dark in their light, but you stay in the game, and that's what I think true artistry is about. Because if it's that easy for you to walk away from it, you probably wasn't about it in the first place. It's a gift from God. It's in your soul. You can't stop. When you stop, you're miserable. So you got to do it, and I shout you out for that. But I got one last question. This is our sign out question. Who's your favorite female MC? Y'all pausing too long, man. Come on.
Well, it's
there's so many choices. Man.
Yeah.
Well, give me top five then. There's so many. Give me top five.
Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
MC Light. Raw Digger.
Yep.
Eso.
Ladybug is
probably
Ladybug.
Diggable. Okay.
Yeah, Ladybug is one of my top favorites. MC Light, Queen Latifah, super dope. Out here on the West Coast, Medusa was really dope.
Yeah.
She's from the whole Good Life camp. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Deserves props. And trying to think, I'm just racking my brain right now. But I've said like before that, I've always wanted us to do a song with a female MC. We have yet to do that. And I think it would be a great experience for us. So MC Light, if you're listening, love jump on something, or Ladybug,
Yeah. Well, you guys, you named a lot more than I throw this question up. That's my sign off question, because I feel like a lot of times when we talk about these top fives and who's doing this and that, a lot of times we miss out or we overlook the sisters that have been in it just as long as other legends, and we kind of overlook them. So I think it's important when we mention these top fives or top tens or whatever, we make sure we put one of the the sisters in there so that our young girls know that there are some women in hip hop that are putting out that same type of message, that you guys are putting out, because a lot of times they get the mainstream, and I love, like Cardi B, shout out like Cardi B, she's hilarious, she real, that's why I like her. But I want them to know about the Medusas too, so moving forward, make sure you always shout out the females.
One more female I wanted to throw out there was Patra.
Okay.
A lot of people like kind of, I don't know if people kind of forgot about her, but it was more dancehall, but she was dope.
Yeah.
She was
phenomenal.
Yeah, I was listening to some of her music not too long ago, and she was really tight. And I'm like, man, like she should be much more heralded than and much more well known, because she was dope.
Yes. All right. So any shout outs before we bow out?
I want to give a big shout out to Subz for sticking with me all these years, and we've had a great time. We're gonna keep rolling with it, and Ways One up in Oakland for coming with those dope beats. Eric Stoyer, who's always been on all of our joints and will hopefully always be on all of our joints, and DJ Lion, fam from back in the day. 6 Sense crew. Big shout out to my homie Neb Supreme, who's always been, extended fam to us, and just everybody that's supported our music.
Big shout out to all our supporters. Everybody give us a chance, give us a listen. Friends, fam. Big shout out to you guys for interviewing us. Thank you.
Thanks for coming through.
Yes, very big shout out to you. Thank you so much for having us on.
Thank you, guys. All right, so there you have it, substance abuse. And I want to shout out from the Alternative Brown family, substance abuse. Shout out to Joe Wallace, Ramrock Records, for making that connection. Shout out for the crew back here making this thing happen. We got Will, we got Jay, and we got Joe. And this is what we know. This is what we do all day, every day. Love y'all. Peace. Till the next time.